It's personal story time.
All right, so this is the part of the show where we share a story and sometimes pull a moral out of it. And tonight's theme is moving long distances. I know both of you have moved across country. I have not moved across country, but I've moved from one end of the state of Georgia to the other. So I thought we might share some stories on what we've learned about. I hate moving. You can rub your fake eye tears all you want. Not fake tears. I know those are fake eyes. With tears
I moved across Georgia.
I hate moving, man. So y'all tell your story then, since you're so much better than me.
When I was 12, we moved. It was 11 or 12. We moved from Washington State to Pennsylvania.
Oh.
Yeah. The big trip.
The Bobcat in the back.
No, we did a road trip from Washington State to Pennsylvania with the Bobcat before, but he did not come with us when we moved. We actually gave him to someone who had a Bobcat already, so then they had two before we moved. So
we're talking about the animal, Sean.
Yes, we are. I had a Bobcat as a kid.
Yeah, like a Bobcat Goldthwait. That would have been awesome.
I gotta pee. Pull over. They're slurping. He's got me down. I gotta pee. He's my favorite. All right, sorry. Side note, Sean. Netflix. He did a special about 2 years ago. It's the best thing ever. It's so good. Oh all right, man. Carry on with your story.
Yeah, so we moved. We made really good time. 2.5 days is what it took us to get there. We had our moving truck that was pulling our van, and then we had a truck as well, and we had 3 drivers. And so what we did is we put a mattress in the bed of the truck, and it was a covered bed, and we rotated who was driving. So there was always 2 people driving, one the moving truck and one our regular truck, and then one driver was sleeping in the bed of the truck. And so we drove basically nonstop from Washington State to Pennsylvania. And I say basically because when we were about 3 hours out from our destination, we decided to get a hotel just for the afternoon so that we could all shower and whatnot before we got to Pennsylvania, because we were all a little funky fresh after 2 days in the car. And so, yeah, it was quite the experience. My dad at one point got so tired that he had me just sitting there smacking him on the arm to keep him awake. And
that's not good.
No, it isn't. It isn't. Especially because my dad, when he gets tired, he starts hallucinating a little bit. So he even turned to me at one point and he said, yeah, if I see any cows or little girls in the road, I'm just running them over, because he knew they were hallucinations.
Oh no!
And
Papa
so
NASCAR.
Yeah, there was one time when I was in the truck and he in the actual truck and he was in the moving truck, and we're behind the moving truck and we see the moving truck go and we're like, we better stop and switch drivers, because he is definitely falling asleep at the wheel. But we didn't have cell phones at the time, so we actually had walkie-talkies that we would communicate with each other on the road trip. And those worked really well, except when we crossed streams with other people that had walkie-talkies. And so we ended up talking to some other people for a little while on the road trip. It was good. Yeah, it was long and everyone was tired by the end, but we got it done.
Now, Sean, yours was a year. Oh, I saw that, sir. Shame on you.
No,
it's okay.
Look
Drink
at this
that
album
apple juice.
from Creedence Clearwater Revival.
What's so funny is the bit is almost ignorable at this point, but when you didn't do the bit, it jumped out massively. All of us were like, God, what are you doing? It's so good.
The next album is good.
So good. But Sean, you moved about 2 years ago across country with
Yes.
2 kids and a wife as an adult. How was that? Because Joe's, you were
2
a kid,
cats.
right?
Yeah, but I mean, as an adult, like when we first got married, I
Hey, it's
moved
not your
from,
time. Talking stick has been passed.
from
Hold up an
Idaho
album
to
in front of your
Tennessee.
face.
God, more stories. So yeah, this was my 30th move in my
Whoa.
life, and I count moves as changing mailing addresses. So not like a month spending at a friend's house or whatever. So I'd lived in Georgia for 7 years, and I moved from Georgia to Texas. Before that, I moved actually from Allentown, Pennsylvania, down to Atlanta, Georgia. That was also a crappy move. And what can I tell you? Cats. So I don't have a bobcat, but I had 2 cats. What I did on this move is my cat, it was this black cat named Tenebrae. She hates being in a cage. Yeah, 30 moves. Army brat into basically adult who worked at a Ren Fair, who's at a theater degree that was like, video games in my life, but I'm a bartender to support myself financially. 30 moves. So I knew my cat did not like being in a cage while moving because of the Allentown to Georgia thing. So what I did when I moved with her is I had the moving truck towing my car, basically like all the valuable stuff we do on the movers to take. And I just let her out in the cab. So I'm like, baby, you just do your thing. It's fine. And that was okay. I did not realize because of how old she was. I didn't really think that 12 was that old for a cat. She died the day we got to Texas.
Oh,
Stopped, like her back legs stopped moving. She
Oh.
stopped functioning. I had to take her to an emergency vet clinic and put her down. And it's sad. Like I have this mustache. So like crying and dripping snot. And then like holding a cat carrying me like, where are your tissues?
That's not supposed to be funny.
I looked awful. And like trying to wipe it. And then you're like, see, you want to go in the room? Do you want the diamond package or the one that like we put her in a box and cremate her ashes and put stone around the side? Like, I just fucked it.
Yeah.
So that was rough. This is going into moving in a different territory, but I will tell you one funny thing. And then I'll get back to the moving part.
That wasn't funny enough.
No, because I mean I was distraught. This was my cat. I got her.
Of course you were.
She was found on a construction site at a wall. She fell asleep in my arm. I took her home. You know, like she was my little buddy. She always fell asleep in my armpit. So they kept telling me like, hey, we're going to bring her in so you can do the visitation before we do the rest of the things that, you know, to have her pass peacefully. And just, you know, she's going to come out and we're going to give her some oxygen so she can breathe and so she's really nice and helpful. It helped. So they come out. And so I think like medical situation, oxygen, you know, like they have those little tubes in your nose and a little thing that goes around.
Yeah.
That's what I was expecting. So they come out and they just lay this like fat, like corrugated plastic tube in front of her face.
Yeah.
And I'm like panicking, like, no, where's her oxygen? And they're like, no, sir, that big tube in front of her face is blowing oxygen in her face. And I'm like, oh.
You wanted a little catty
Okay.
nasal cannula to hook on.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. This is a real establishment. Where's my cat nose oxygen cannula thing? I'm that much of a I guess a cat dad. I have a real child too. God forbid anything happened to her or him both because I have a son and a daughter. But yeah, no,
Your favorite.
It was my black cat named Tenebrae, named after the character from Tales of Symphonia 2. Because that's the game I was playing when I found her. But yeah, so other tips for moving or stories for moving besides letting your cat have her best life on your last part of your move. Oh gosh, when you're towing a car, especially if you like the car, centering it on a trailer is super important. I don't just mean like, hey, make sure that the wheels aren't like hanging off the side, but I mean like seriously centering it, because it can frick up your alignment really bad. And if you have like a rare import Japanese car, it can be really hard to go find an alignment shop that'll work on it. So make sure it's centered. If you see bumps in the road, don't hit them at full speed, because that Penske that you're renting that's rated for 55 miles an hour, but you're driving at 75 because that's how fast everyone else is going. Slow the F down. Because your expensive Japanese import is going to be bouncing like hell on that trailer and wrecking the suspension.
Oof.
I love that car. Not as much as I love my cat, but close.
So, but in this story, it sounds like the moral is don't move or you'll lose your car and your cat.
Tenacious D.
Right?
Yes. Great
Don't blow it, Cage. No, I still have the car, at least, I guess. Consolation prize. But there's a lot of important things to moving. Pack anything that's valuable, pack yourself and bring it in a car.
Did the kids you have a ride with you, or did y'all fly the kids?
So, oh man. So
they didn't pack them themselves.
This is
you could read into that however you want.
Yeah. Gross. If you can, any trip that you can fly with your kids, the better. If you have a partner that will drive with you or take turns driving, great. If not, let them fly, because it'll be a saner trip for you.
I'm running in the kids rode with you, and there were things in play that
I did one full drive with just me and my daughter, and it was great. Except for and another point, let's say they have a smart device that they can play games on, whatever games, or watch videos on.
Sure.
Download that stuff before you drive, because if you link it to your phone, unless you have an unlimited data plan, it wears out in 3 hours, and then you have a child talking to you for the next 16 hours.
Oh, and no.
Not that you know what, at 6 years old, not a good combo. It's just a lot of explaining stuff that you're going to explain again in 10 minutes, man.
You're not really diving into Nietzsche there.
No, you're not. And even then, I actually got a comic book of Nietzsche explaining all of his theories, like in graphic format. Even that. You do. Yeah, why not? I thought it could work out. I still am the only one reading it or thinking it's cool. Ooh, what's this one? Ooh, man. Nice.
That's a rough story. I hate moving. I never want to move across country. And if I have to, it's all going in a moving van like Mayflower, and I'm just flying out there. We're going to stay in a resort for a week until the house is set up.
That's good. And honestly, after the age of 30, maybe 33, you're not as strong as you used to be. Even if you lift every day, all of a sudden those bookcases get heavy, Jack.
I'm ox-like strong. I'd be fine.
Right. No, because I had, by the time we moved, and I think one of them happened before, I had 2 hernias, and then I had to get a double hernia repair.
No.
Oh, fun.
And that recovery wasn't great. And then I broke my foot, and that recovery wasn't great. So I'm like a year into just not walking with a cane finally. So
Oof.
Yeah, don't try.
Did you at least have a stylish cane? It could go really well with your mustache.
I did. I had a shillelagh and actually just replaced the tip. It's got a nice brass tip on the end. And now people. That funky monkey. Yeah. Now it's just part of my style when I go to conferences, even though I don't need it anymore. Oh,
I dig it. You're losing it.